This is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. And here we are outside spraying again. At this point, the Iron Man Mark 6 armor is in a lovely shade of primer gray. Looking pretty good though. I didn't bother masking off the eyes or the chest piece, mostly because I figured it'd be just as easy to go in and paint them back in separately. But this is where we're sitting right now. Houston, we have a problem. I'm fairly sure the details getting picked up by the camera. Went for a bait based off what I wanted to do. After I primered him, I went for a coat of graphite dust to give a nice dark metallic before I put the red on. The metallic bubbled up bad, and I mean really bad. So at this point, I'm going to soak him in simple green and start over. And after a day soak in simple green, I have successfully managed to strip off the bubbled up paint. It's not 100% stripped, but it's definitely at a good foundation for me to start over with the primer coat. Here's hoping I can figure out what went wrong. Alright, today's weather is not cooperating. A situation I've had before, my current situation. So, I've improvised. What you see here is the improvised spray booth, and yes, it's sitting in my shower. Got a storage container to catch the paint drop, the post box to basically level out the bottom of it because the bottom would look like that, and inside the newly reprimered Iron Man Mark 6. Got the exhaust fan on, and once I get done shooting here, I'll close the door, let the fan vent the fumes. Okay, back in the improvised spray booth, we now have a base coat that should surprise nobody. That being Tester's Graphite Dust. Once this is cured, I'm going to go in and mask off some areas to leave the graphite dust color. And then I'm going to hit the rest with a coat of candy red. And we'll see where we're sitting from there. But this time around, it looks like I've got a decent coat of paint on there. Just a couple of little bubbles, which I'll probably call battle damage when the time comes. Masking is on. Again, I'm using the electrical tape because I can get it to conform to the complex curves a little better. At this point, it's about time to put some candy on him. Alright, candy coat's on, if a little uneven in places. Unfortunately, the can was dying as I was doing this. But we'll see how things turn out when I take the masking off. Good evening. Well, it's evening now. At this point, base paint is done. Personally, I really like the way the candy worked over the Graphite Dust. Gives the armor a very unique look. Now, I've still got to go in and pick out the eyes, the arc reactor, and the repulsors. And probably add some detail. The base, I've just gone, after dealing with all, instead of trying to cover up all the overspray, I just decided to take advantage of the overspray and just put a coat of gray primer over it. I'll go in later after I get the detail painting done on the armor, and I'll put a black wash over this shattered concrete look. I'll also go in and put a couple of, do a little bit of black washing in some of the detail areas just to help bring it out. But that's where we sit right now.